artificial fat. And you know what else they did? They started making artificial sweeteners.
Oh yeah,
Same thing. Body is not recognizing it as food. So it has no idea what to do with it. And just like junk in your apartment, you don't know what to do with, you push it against the walls. It's exactly what your body does, push it against the artery walls. And your blood pressure goes up and it pretty much screws up your biology. So the advice I give everyone, if they just want to be lean, fit, energetic, is eat fat. Eat healthy, natural fat. Cut out your sugars. You can eat as much fruit sugar as you want for some reason it doesn't affect, but definitely never, ever, ever drink sugar. And if you can just stick to those simple rules and keep like a semi-active lifestyle, you're going to be an awesome human being.
Are you a health nut?
I'm a total health nut. People don't realize what you were talking about. Everything you said is so on point. I can't believe it because hardly anybody has the knowledge. Back in those 70s or whatever, when they did these tests, they found out that sugar was the culprit for chronic inflammation. They found out that sugar is what's leading to the diabetes, the chronic inflammation leading to cancer, but they masked it and they pointed fat as the culprit, knowing that it wasn't fat. So really the whole public's been like misguided since that era. And you're saying just now a year ago, they're starting to announce that no, sugar's the bad guy. So when you go to McDonald's, what are you getting in a Happy Meal? The 2 buns are loaded with sugar. The soft drink, suicide. Any kid that eats a Happy Meal, like they said in the documentary, they're hopeless. They're addicted after their first Happy Meal. So yeah, the whole America is like addicted to sugar. It's an epidemic.
Wow, man, you just made my car towing worth it.
Yeah. No, your documentary is spot on. And if anyone wants to pack on an awesome foodie, I would tell them, eat a lot. Eat a lot of good natural foods. Eat a lot of beans. Eat a lot of meat. Eat a lot of natural fat, but just cut out the sugar. Cut out the sugar and do a lot of working out.
And we haven't even gotten to the conversation that sugar's a drug.
Oh, I kind of touched on it. It's addictive as hell.
Yeah.
Addictive as hell.
Yeah. It's
the documentary I watched said that a Happy Meal to a 7-year-old is more addictive than cocaine to an adult.
Yeah, the brain. They did a comparison. What was that? The documentary I saw last year was a sugar documentary. Was it Sugar Incorporated? No, that was Food Incorporated. No. The sugar one was specifically about sugar. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And they showed that the CAT scan of somebody eating sugar is the same CAT scan as somebody on cocaine.
Yeah. And actually here, let's just use Lamar Odom as an example, right? Here's a human being, a biology that has a heavy addiction to cocaine, right?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Lamar Odom's story?
Lamar, and then he loves candy too.
Yeah. That guy was known as the biggest sour candy nut in the entire NBA. That guy would just binge. So nights that he was deprived of his drugs or he had a game the next day and he had to stay sober and whatever, what would he do? He would binge like crazy on candy to where it became like a
joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a story. Not a very. It became like a It became like a story. So that just shows you the correlation. If his body couldn't have the one thing, his body was demanding the sugar. So that explains, that totally.
So you're saying he was probably on drugs a lot earlier than...
Oh no, his whole career. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't really know that he was on drugs.
His career helped keep it in check. But, he had such an inconsistent career, especially late in his career. He'd have, like, spells of doing really great and then spells of not looking like himself. He was always battling. And then when his career ended, you have nothing left to keep him in check. And then he went full blown.
Wow.
But when he was, like, refraining from doing drugs, his body was
craving the sugar.
Craving the sugar. The guy would just, from the stories you hear.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I mean,
that just goes to what you said. Like about how the CAT scan of the brain is the same on one as the other. So,
wow. So yeah, America was duped with the sugar, and they were duped on purpose because they wanted people,
Oh my God, I love you. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, they want people. They want all of us in a state of emergency.
Yes.
if you just look at what's really going on right now, everything is this artificial state of emergency.
Yes.
And that's what the inflammation is.
Yes.
That's what the, our environment, and saying we're running out of stuff and et cetera, our economy. And it's just like, and then the other thing is the gadgets, these little screens. They're addicting, especially the kids. So, when you have all these notifications and all these things that are blinking and getting your attention, again, it puts your body on a state of alert.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you the final nail in the coffin. I know one of the producers for I Am Legend.
Okay.
Do you know the virus, what the virus really was for I Am Legend, what it did?
What? No.
It took the frontal lobe and it put the mind in the state of emergency in that frontal lobe. So now all the brain was deprived of all those, rational decisions, intellect, all those things are just cut off.
Constant state of alert.
Exactly.
And that's what we're slowly
becoming.
evolving to.
Exactly.
Dude, I can't tell you how happy I am to hear you say everything you say for one reason, because the only answer, the only solution to this is not like revolt or war, it's just consciousness.
It is.
And to see just, like a random civilian, in the city I'm in is conscious of it, and I'm conscious of it, and 1 in 10 people are conscious of it, it's going to spread infectiously, and the whole world will inherit that consciousness.
That is the solution.
It really makes me feel great to hear someone else saying the exact same things that the conclusions I've come to. It just tells me that the consciousness is actually spreading.
Well, the fact
That's
that all these things happen for me to be in a ride with you, for both of us to get confirmation.
Yeah. And then what you were saying earlier, if everybody was healthy, like people in my family don't get sick. My grandfather went to a doctor when he was 80, 85 for the first time. They fucked him up. And that was the beginning of the end of his life. It was the first time he had been to an American doctor. Basically, they want you to be sick.
Oh, yeah.
It's that simple. It's a multi-billion dollar industry, the biopharmaceutical, the medical, the procedures. What they do is they get you addicted to sugar first. Corn is the #1 GMO crop of the planet.
Yes.
And that's where all the sugar comes from. The corn syrup, if you eat sour candy, that's made out of corn. If you eat a milk dud, that's made out of corn. The high fructose corn syrup comes from corn. This is the mass crop of the man, and is genetically modified. They're taking that product and they're making billions off of us from the age of 0 to 30 and getting us severely addicted. Chronic inflammation, all the things we talked about. Then, by the time you're 30, then the other industry kicks in. Then the biopharmaceutical kicks in. By the time you're 30, you start developing problems, you start developing issues, you need major procedures, you need to be on some kind of prescription. Then they start banking on you there. So you're pretty much like, just like the Matrix or a lot of other stories and philosophers say, you're pretty much a battery cell. We are here to feed a system. And that's not what the human soul is designed for. When they get you addicted to sugar early, they get the chronic inflammation kicking up. That leads to literally every disease we know about.
Yes, that's the root.
And then they start treating those diseases that they
with drugs
in the first place.
They just treat the symptoms. They don't treat the disease. They treat the symptoms.
Treat the symptoms, exactly.
Make you feel a little bit better.
So look,
give
you have high blood pressure. What do they give you? They give you a blood thinner instead of putting you on a diet that's going to gradually get your blood pressure to normal and get you healthy. Instead, they say, okay, your blood pressure is high because your pathways are narrow, the blood's not flowing. Let's give you a pill that makes your blood thinner so it'll flow better. They're not even addressing the problem. So you nailed it on everything that you said. And all you got to do is just share the knowledge.
Well, man, you're definitely gave me.
Poor JoJo's had her headphones on the whole time. This is like a wealth of knowledge. Are you secretly listening to us? No, she's just
which is perfect. I don't think nobody could have wrote a story like this. This is pretty amazing. Hilarious. I like the way you said that. Drinking the sugar.
Don't drink sugar.
Yeah, one of my biggest things though in the morning is my little chai green tea with agave in my coffee. So yeah. You know what I've been doing?
Mix coffee, chai tea, and agave sweetener.
I drink green tea mate
Okay.
with agave, and then I drink my coffee with agave. So those are the things that I drink sugar. You know, so.
Which is cool. It's early in the day, and you're gonna burn all that off. I mean, the real culprit is like a soda.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, though. I know that that's my vice.
Hey,
But
you don't have a bad one. It's not a bad one.
do you know this though? Drinking 32 ounces of water when you first get up and trying to give yourself about 45 minutes really flushes your system and get the system going and builds a metabolism or gets the metabolism a lot faster.
Gets it, yeah. It's one of my first rules is wake up in the morning and you down a glass of water. And I make it a point. They say about 3 liters a day for men. I try to get about a gallon.
Yeah.
Because everything in your body is made up of water. Every cell is 90% water. Having a ton of water in your system is what's going to regenerate and renew your cells, keep you young, keep you energetic, keep you healthy, because it's the water is the number one building block of your whole body. Plus it filters the kidneys.
Yes.
It filters the liver. Actually, the first thing I do is I take a little shot of apple cider vinegar.
Oh shit, man, you fucking
That
killing
is
me.
so good for the kidneys.
I know that, and I haven't been doing that. You
I
just
don't either. I go through phases. I'll go a couple months without it, then I'll pick up a bottle. It'll last me a couple months. I'll go a couple months without it.
Yeah.
But just a teaspoon every morning or even every night. It's amazing how that stuff, like if you ever have a stomach ache, if you're ever having indigestion, I shit you not, 1/2 a shot of apple cider vinegar will digest all that stuff up. You'll be feeling as nasty as it tastes. It'll have you feeling so good and calm in your tummy, like so.
Oh yeah. There you go. I'm gonna put that in the booty science tonight. So,
But the booty science is good. It's pretty much focused on women.
yeah, and men will be into because it's pretty women on there.
Yeah, so you get to interview a bunch of women and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's already done. I just put in the final touches, getting it ready for the beginning of the year.
That's awesome.
You know, and
I should make some.
I mean, the whole
gotta
thing
get
is
to the documentary. Dude.
the whole thing is based upon the booty. The fat in the booty is good booty. It's good fat.
Good fat.
You know, and our bodies are here to store. Our bodies are storage for energy, and fat is energy. You know, and so the energy. The fat in your stomach is bad for you because it's got the. Was it that the visceral fat? I forget the.
It is called visceral fat.
Yeah.
And visceral fat also refers to not just your stomach, but inside your body where your organs are.
Yes, underneath
There's
the muscles.
There's fat around the organs and stuff like that, and that fat starts building and building too. And that's actually really unhealthy.
So I'm using the fact, hey, you want a bigger, better booty? Okay, great. This is what you want to do, but I'm going to try to give you some real science about your food.
I mean, what a good idea. What a great way to meet like a lot of big booty women. Just make a documentary about them.
Yeah, it is. It does. I'm really trying to get me a big booty avatar. I got the connection, and I just got a couple flakes lately.
Oh my God! You know what? Maybe you did this already, but you know what an awesome finishing touch on your documentary would be? At the end of it, maybe interview a famous booty. Someone who's done
Serena.
it right.
Oh, no.
Serena's a good one. You know,
Who else?
Athletic. There's a lot of them on Instagram, some Colombian trainers and things like that, whatever. But you find yours, and then you can reach out to them with emails and say, listen, I've completed this documentary. This is what my documentary is about. You can even send them a copy and say the only thing that it's missing is at the end a proven booty and someone just talking about their lifestyle, how they got to where they are, what kind of dietary changes they made, what type of workout, like thing that they have. So you get to like send emails to some famous booties, right? And maybe one of them will be like, yeah, I'd love to be part of your documentary.
You know
That
what?
would be an awesome finishing touch.
That will be a famous person because the documentary is just set up that way where I have a whole bunch of people and they just give their lifestyles and they talk about what they've been through.
And then you go find the all-star.
Yeah.
You go find the proven one, and then she's going to reconfirm and glue together everything you're preaching. Especially if she's reinforcing all the stuff that you pretty much are preaching throughout the documentary.
I think you have definitely, again.
Well, that idea is just because it's fun. Think about it. Nice. You get to send out an email to, your favorite.
Yeah. And I have a contact with Serena too.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
That would be perfect. She looks great when she's not in her tennis clothes. she gets like dolled up and goes out. She's
Yeah.
dating Stephon Marbury for a while.
Oh, really?
You know Marbury, right?
Yeah, I know. He's overseas now. He's still playing ball.
In Europe?
I think so.
Yeah, he was a Knick for a while. Are you right in?
Me?
Yeah.
Actually, no. I've never been here before.
Okay, let me narrow down the address perfect there. Let's see. 2030. This is 2050. You see a number here? I just want to see if it gets smaller or bigger. We're
Is
within
it
one
going to be
building.
on this side?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably. What kind of place? Is it a restaurant?
What is it called? Because the name's not here.
Okay, let me see.
2030, 2050. It's either one down or one back.
It's up further.
They get smaller as it goes down?
Actually, I'm sorry. The opposite way. Opposite way. It gets smaller as the opposite way.
Okay, I'll do a U-turn right here. Let's see.
I had to think about that. Sorry about that. I had a brain lock. This is one of my favorite restaurant areas, by the way.
Really?
Oh yeah, I love
So far.
Japanese food.
Yeah. Yeah, I love sushi.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Is this good right here?
Yeah, this is good. Thank you.
All right, enjoy.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Let's see how close we got. Another 30 minutes, 9 miles.
That shouldn't be 30 minutes, but it doesn't matter. So, the conversation that I was having before, we were talking about manifestation, manifesting, right?
Uh-huh.
And my research that I've been doing on the side here while I've been finishing booty science is this guy talks about, okay, you know, we live in a world where we got a positive and a negative, right? You know, the battery that started your car is made off of a balanced positive and negative, our atoms, et cetera, right? But if you have a 2-to-1 ratio where you have 2 negatives to 1 positive, which is, you know, a lot of negative talk, a lot of negative things we're digesting, negative food, and then you got an irritable person. If it's a 3-to-1 ratio, then you got a kind of like an angry person that may snap at you sometimes, right? If you have a 4-to-1 ratio, then you have post-traumatic stress syndrome, right? 5-to-1 is bipolar, manic depressive. 6-to-1 is personality disorder. 7-to-1 is psychotic, and then 8-to-1 is psychopath.
Okay.
So we're talking about every time you're trying to, you know, go forward in life or try to, you know, create things on your own and do something great, you're going to get this resistance.
Yeah.
So, and then the resistance is going to be at a certain level. So you can tell what type of breakthrough that you're going to have based upon the type of resistance that you're getting. So if you're getting
resistance, the bigger the breakthrough if you fight it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
You know, so that's like a good sign. There are people who pray for obstacles.
Yeah, because it means that the reward is going to be that much better.
Exactly.
What a great motivation to fight hard through anything.
Exactly. So,
You believe in that rule.
oh, it's proven. This is my life.
You're going to be like a ram going through walls. You're like looking for walls to bust through.
But we live in a world where we have program helplessness, where, you know, you've got like the experiments that they've done is like you take an elephant, right, and the elephant is chained up. So every time the elephant tries to break away from the chain, he's shocked, right? And then so this happens over and over again until finally you take the chain off the elephant.
Put a string.
Yeah, and he no longer tries to resist.
Who are you? This is something my mom told me when I was 10.
Yeah.
My mom.
So that's
I
learned
can't believe that
helplessness.
no one in my life has given the same example. They use other examples to explain that.
Well, I was going to
But
use
the
the dog
elephant
one,
one,
but
I'm
then
so
I
glad you
decided
used
to
the
use the elephant. I just wanted to
I
use
grew
the
up with
elephant.
that. I grew up with that. I can't believe you. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you? Where'd you come from?
So we're so caught up in the learned helplessness that we are programmed not to break through.
Yeah.
So this is the philosophy, like, look, when you get this type of resistance, it's good sign.
It's good.
Yeah, just keep going, and there's something on the other end.
And it's true, but even if it's not true, what an amazing thing to believe in, because it makes you a fighter.
Yes.
That's awesome. But I believe in that, though. And
So
what you're saying is resonating very true in my
DNA,
like in my heart or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm feeling what you're saying.
So all this
It's like a little
resistance today.
It's like a little secret that I haven't really been conscious of. And I'm so glad you brought it up. That's something that you can actually live your life according to. Like
Exactly.
that could be your MO.
Exactly.
You know, like I'm looking for the challenge. The thicker the wall, the more gold behind it. You know, like that could be your MO.
So this whole year
Awesome.
has been about, oh my God, I have a baby boy, and since I had my baby boy, I've had
When?
In March.
October 3rd, baby girl. I just had a baby. We're like on the same life path. We're on the same,
Yeah. And so I was trying to get home to see my son before, it gets too late, and I can't. So, anyway, that's beyond anything right now. But the point is that the reason why I brought that up, I don't know why I brought that up. I lost my train of thought. But the thing is that
I keep interrupting.
no, it doesn't matter.
Excited.
It's supposed to go this way. I guess the reason why I wanted to say
it started with the manifest. We were talking about manifest.
Oh, so yeah. So the whole thing is, do you know how many things have created the resistance for me to be in this car right now?
The toe, the this, the that.
It started at 12. I was on time. Actually, I was early. I got there at 11:50. And so I'm going to repeat a few things because I didn't want to complain, because I didn't want to bring that energy into my being.
Yeah,
but this is perfect now because it helps
it's
you
about
realize.
The subject. Yeah.
I had texted her, and I texted her the pictures that she had wanted. Then I emailed her, and then I texted her again and said, "Hey, look, did you get the pictures that I sent to you?" And I was trying to move things back so I can do something about my son, and she didn't respond. So I just showed up early, right? She didn't get the text. She didn't get the pictures. She said, "Yeah, I knew you were. I had got a confirmation that you had booked it, but we didn't do a follow-up phone call, so I didn't expect you to come." So it took her an hour. I'm sitting out front for her to even get ready.
Yeah.
So now I'm there at 1, and I'm a little frustrated because I'm like, I really wanted to do something with my son today, and I just wasted time. And I was like, yeah, this is Mercury retrograde. I said, let's not complain, Mike. Let's find out what you can do better in the conversation to make sure this doesn't happen again. Work on a solution, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm not going to say blah, blah, blah. So the point is that even after I got started, we're talking about so much that she's taking a lot longer on my hair than normal. And then next thing you know, I'm not really looking at the signs, so I'm told. And then Uber and all these things that I couldn't even get to my car in time to even get it at 7. And then you pick me up.
And then I pick you up.
And you're the second Uber because the other guy said cancel. He told me, he said, I meant to be offline. I need you to cancel. And I canceled.
Whatever this life is, whatever our relationship is to the universe, whatever that connection is, whatever is going on, there's so much more mystery and romance involved than we'll ever have a clue about. There is such an incredible,
dynamic,
perfect storm of it, and I think it's all mathematical. I think it's all, I'm not saying pre-written, but we're definitely, with the and I know you were saying you don't really pay attention or believe in that stuff too much, but we definitely have some kind of a connection to the clockwork up there.
We do.
And I don't know exactly what it is.
But
maybe the emotions we feel here set off astronomical events up there. Or maybe astronomical events up there are affecting our emotions down here. And each person is tied and connected in one way or another.
Well, but that's where free will comes in. Because I could have made myself a victim by what took place today, right? And we were just talking about I brought up the conversation to her earlier. I said, you know what? I've had 4 things that I wanted to do this week. I wanted to get my car tuned up. I wanted to do something else. I wanted to get my place termited. I wanted to get my hair done. I said, do you know how much resistance I got and doing those 4 things. And I said, yesterday I was kind of like complaining to myself, and I had to get that out of my head. I said, you know what I did yesterday? I did the gratitude thing. I started thinking about what it is and I'm grateful about. And I just started labeling it, and it brought my energy back up. I stopped complaining in my own head. And I was telling her that, you know what? That's what you have to do when you get to those little moments. You got to talk about what I'm grateful for. And then what you're grateful for will bring other abundancy in your life, because that's the frequency you're tuned in with, instead of tuning into the frequency I'm a victim. So
that's a really good tip, and that's something people should keep stickies of, to always remind themselves. Don't ever get caught festering in the things that are going wrong. The second you catch that, you're in one of, because it definitely happens. There are these moments where it's just bad thing after bad thing after bad thing. We all have to survive. There's times for a whole week just shit keeps happening.
This is my week.
You can't keep festering. It's such a good advice, because if you can stop yourself, like you said, you have self-will, you control, you stop yourself, and instead remind yourself of all the things that are wonderful in your life. You're doing 2 things. You're doing what you said you're doing, changing the energy, the vibe, and all that. What you're also doing is, instead of focusing on the negative, and you're appreciating the positive. How do I put this? This is going to be a really hard thought.
Take your time.
You're letting, let's say you believe in a God or a power or a spirit world or thing. You're letting that person know that it's much more important to you that you got all these good things than all the bad things. You're appreciating the good things that have been given to you. And so he's like, okay, it's worth giving this guy more good things. Not a he, not a she, but the universe is saying, hey, it's worth giving this guy good things because he remembers them. You can give good things to my grandma, for example, and she'll never remember it. What she'll do every minute of her life is only point out the negatives. Only point out the negatives. And if there is a greater power, an essence, they'll say, this woman doesn't deserve anything good.
Because she doesn't appreciate it.
She doesn't even realize it. Forget appreciation, she doesn't even realize it.
Well, wait a minute.
So it's wasted on her. But if you're the type of person that's always thankful, they're like, you know what? It feels good doing good things to this guy.
Well, but it's like a human being. It's just like if I was to give a present to somebody and they just throw it in the dumper, they didn't appreciate it, would you give them another present? Would you actually put energy into it? Who would you give the present to?
Exactly. Or, the same example, but, you give a guy a t-shirt and he bitches about it's not the t-shirt I wanted. But then the other person will be like, thank you so much. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I'm sure the universe works that way.
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. But the way you just put it, you just made it, you humanized it.
No, humanized it.
No, you humanized it when you just mentioned, like, it's just like if the universe, they're going to want they're going to want to give energy to people who appreciate it.
I mean, hey, the universe is going to give you something.
I can't wait to tell Sherry.
The universe is going to give you something. You're not even going to notice it. The universe is going to be sad. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I wasted my time on this guy.
Exactly.
I'm not going to waste the time on you again.
I'm wasting my energy on it because they're throwing it away.
They're taking positive energy. They're finding a way to make it negative.
Exactly.
Screw 'em.
Yeah. And so, but the negative energy, which there is a negative God or a negative aspect of yourself,
feeds on it.
Yes. So
and you let that fucker in the door.
Yes.
And then he starts gifting you what he's got.
Yes. Which is negative.
Yeah, then you're fucked. Yeah.
That's the polarity right there.
Oh, this is good. This is what all human beings, like, when they get together and talk, they should talk about stuff like this, and I think the world would just be a better place so much sooner.
Well, it is. It would be. It's just that simple.
We need everyone on board. Everyone. Because, honestly, I really think that we're all cells of a common organism.
We are.
We're all one.
We are. Okay, I'll give you another thing we discussed today. She broke it down. She said we're actually, and there's this lot of discussion now that we're actually in a simulation. We're actually inside some computer simulation.
Yeah. Or and that our world is just a mirage. Yeah.
So she said the freeways are actually circuit boards, and the light is moving on the circuit boards, and that's what the freeways are.
If you look at the city from a mountain,
yes,
it looks like a microchip.
It does.
It's a big microchip. And the freeways are the little circuit boards connecting one chip to the other chip to the other chip. That's why the Matrix Matrix. You know, The Matrix was a really good movie.
It was the best one. My favorite movie of all time.
They must have done a lot of acid to touch and connect and be able to actually paint it for us to see it. You know?
They did a lot of thought, but they're in tune with that frequency. It's all about a frequency. Oh, man. And then what was the second thing I was going to say to you? Oh, okay. So I called it the parallel universe, right? Quantum physics parallel universes. There's infinite amount of parallel universe. So, but for our sake of discussion, there's two universes right now. There's the solution to get out of this trap, and then there's a solution to get deeper into the trap. So, the goal is that we are projecting our world right now. So, let me start over. There's the two different choices. It's the solution and the more destruction. So, if you wake up to the solution, you're conscious. You're conscious to the solution world. And even though you have the same people in your life, they're unconscious. So they are actually an artificial program because they're unconscious, or they're invoked by another being. So they're not even real. They're just carrying out this program. But the people who are consciousness and awake, all of us are there together to go and create the solution that gets us out of this world. Not to say that we're going to leave this world, but we're going to solve the problem that we're having with this scarcity, with this survival, with this bullshit, with this shit that we're in right now. If all we connect, fear, yes,
worry,
yes, there's that world is there. I said it a lot better earlier, but that world is there and it's aware there, and all you have to do is wake up to it, and it'll start tapping you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, you want more of this? Here you go." And you need to connect with this guy right here, right now, because he's going to give you what you need. And that's the beauty of the world that we're all missing.
And it goes all the way back to the first thing we talked about, and that's our only tool, our only real power is consciousness.
Yes.
And just us, you don't even necessarily have to talk and communicate it with words and sound. You go to sleep with your healthy consciousness. A dude's going to wake up in China with these ideas. You're not going to know where it comes from. Because I really believe we're all connected. All of our minds are connected.
We're one.
So just the fact that we're understanding this, and then the Bible says this, and this is not a religious thing. I'm trying to keep it universal. But the Bible touches on a very incredible secret. He says, one person praying to God is great. But when you get 2 or 3 people praying to God, it's way more powerful because your frequencies combined really get out there. So the whole concept of, and I've never done this and I don't do this, but thinking about people holding hands and praying for a common cause, or a stadium full of people wishing for a common cause, that thought signal is going to travel way clearer and farther into the far reaches of our universe than a single person doing it. So just the fact that me and you have this consciousness, we're sharing it together, we're talking about it openly, there's a thick, instead of a thin signal going out, there's a thick signal going out right now. I really believe that just us talking right now is sending these thought waves at a much greater rate than if I was sitting by myself reflecting on these thoughts. The fact that me and you are 2 people now sharing these thoughts, communicating between us, I think that's sending out a thick ass signal. And so it's going to infect more people more deeply in that subconscious realm. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Oh, I'm tuned in.
And that's, you know.
Did you see What the Bleep?
Yeah, What the Bleep do we know? That was a while back, yeah.
Yeah.
The electrons maintaining a random state until the human consciousness observes it, then they take the form that we expect them to take. If we're not observing, they're staying loose. They're staying loose.
We're projecting it. The matter is shaping to our thoughts.
To our thoughts, yeah. And that went on to prove that without our conscious observation, there is nothing. Everything will just be in that random state, puzzle pieces floating around. But the fact that there's conscious, intelligent life, all those electrons come together to form the reality. And again, I don't know the exact details of it, but that little electron test proved that the building blocks of our universe are just chilling loose waiting for us to pay attention to them. Then they're going to take the form accordingly based on our
projections,
our consciousness, our whatever. Oh, we got another pickup. Sorry.
No,
Is it okay?
This is where I gotta go.
It's Lawson?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe my pickup is after I drop it off. I'm glad I caught that. I almost missed it.
Well, you would have caught it off of Jefferson. Same. It's a little bit more trafficy. That's all.
No, it's great that you brought a son and a child into this world.
Oh man.
Because it's exactly people like this that need.
Is you got a boy or girl?
A girl.
Okay.
She's 9 weeks now.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give you another tip right now because I'm dealing with mother bullshit right now. So that's some of my conflict.
Yeah.
But she kept me away from my son for 24 days. But prior to that, I had mental telepathy to him, and this is how I realized I had it. We fell asleep together. He fell asleep in my arms, and I fell asleep. I was dreaming, and in my dream, a book fell on the ground, and then he startled and woke up, and woke me up.
Woke you up. Wow.
So then I was like, okay, he sees what I see. So then I had been looking for a high five for the longest. He's about 4 months, and my high five was my biggest thing. So finally I said, let me imagine that he's giving me a high five. And that didn't work, but then I said, let me imagine from his point of view. So he's looking up at Big Daddy's face with these big old hands, and he's giving me a high five. 5 seconds later, he looks at me and goes,
wait, okay, what was the technique? So you imagined his eyes.
I imagined from from his point of view.
That that could be the magical ingredient to making it work. Is how you look at it. That's a cool tip.
So start imagining and it's kind of hard sometimes to put your mind in that perspective.
Yeah, no, okay, so if I want to get something done, instead of seeing it through my eyes, let me see it through the other person involved.
Yeah.
And see them executing whatever I want executed.
Yeah, and their peripheral is
their
looking
eyes.
from their point of view.
I like that. That's that might be a little touch of magic, like a little secret.
So I've been really trying, but I got that from sports.
I had the baby mama drama too. The one thing I promised myself is I got a lot of ego, I got a lot of pride, and I'm a very alpha male. But I promised myself that when it comes to the baby's mom, she's the same as the baby. And I know she's a great mom. So I'm like, I don't care who's wrong, I don't care who's right. I'm going to make sure, because she hated me for a while because I didn't want to be in a relationship.
Man, are we having the same life or what?
But I wanted to be best friends with her, and I wanted to raise a healthy kid with no fighting, no nothing.
How did you are you there? Because I'm not.
I got there. And really what I did is, I was so sweet to her for like a month, right after she had the baby. But she was still giving me shit. And I called her one day and I said, I was just very open. I said, I told her, I'm like, you know what? I was one way before when you knew me. And I really regret and I really apologize for, making things hard on you, for being an asshole, for saying this, for saying that. But now that we've had the baby, all I want is for us to be really good together. I want you to know that, no matter what you do, I'm always going to treat you really good. That kind of a talk, because you're the baby's mom and you guys are the same. And
I'm laughing at you.
And I told her, I automatically have so much love for you. You are now a piece of me too, not just the baby, And in a way, the best way to put it is kissing her ass, but I meant it. It came from the heart, and I said, please, for everyone's sake, not just our daughter's sake, let's really like each other. Give me another chance. I promise I won't let you down. And trust me, she was saying some really irrational things. She's like, I don't even want you to touch me. You don't touch me. Because, because she felt hurt and all that.
Yeah.
And I went along with it. I just went along with everything. And just apologized sincerely in a conversation. And I let her know that, the things that she's doing, it's working. It's making me feel hurt. But I'm like, let's not do that. I'm like, let's not do that. One day in the future, we're going to have to raise our kid as one. And when you make a rule, I'm going to have to enforce your rule too, so we have one voice. I'm like, we just have to get there. We can get there. You know, like, it was just all positive. It was all...
Oh, my God.
I just, for once in my life, I treated a woman like she's more important than me. Like she's more important than anything. I sincerely apologized. And I said it better then because it mattered than I'm saying it to you now.
No, you saying it pretty good now.
But I was really fueled by my love for my daughter because I didn't even know a love like that existed. I just hold her and I start tearing up like, wow. You know? And sure enough, when that conversation ended, she didn't give me all the confirmations and assurity that I wanted. You know, she kind of said, yeah, we'll see, whatever. But then she started acting much better. She woke up the next day, and this weight or anger must have not been with her anymore. Because she started treating me nicer than I'm even comfortable with. Her niceness was making me awkward. You know?
Madness.
Now my job is to continue to be that way. And
So are you intimate with her at all?
No.
Oh, God.
No. We were on and off. Even in the first couple months of pregnancy, we slept together. We only really had a month of dating before I was like, I don't think we're romantically compatible. It's not, whatever. And she was really hurt about that.
Oh, my God.
And on top of that, I was a douchebag with some things because, when you don't have a kid and when life is kind of simple, you don't take things seriously. You act like a goofball.
Yeah, you got a lot of room for error.
I don't know, this woman, I give her a lot of credit for, being able to start with a clean slate.